when we cast that magic, pay attention to the before the manifestation. Yes, set it and forget it, but be aware that those voices may appear, those emotions may appear, and it could be coming from a place of, hello, beautiful creatures. Welcome to my channel. I am Aradia, the Witch of Dark Light, and I hope you all are doing well. This video is a little bit of, I guess, magic talk because I wanted to come on here and share a few things. I'm going to be probably all over the place, but I just wanted to share some things with you in the realms of magic and manifesting magic. First, the voices, after the magic. So the first thing I want to talk about, when you cast magic for a specific intention, in my experience, a lot of times what happens is there seems to be, and it depends on each person, of course, and the situation, but a lot of times when we cast magic, there are, I call them the voices. There are voices that speak to you, and the voices can come from many places. It can come from any ill intention that was sent your way, like the evil eye, or it can come from from within inside, your doubts and your fears. And a couple of other places, just like bad energy sent your way, entities, spirits, beings, the voices that speak to you when you are working on manifesting things. And that could be anything, right? So I'm going to give you an example. The video that I just posted, a little short video sharing with you some candle magic for self-confidence. And that was something that I did for myself because we go through phases, That's a whole nother video where I talk about going through the dark night of the soul and just, emerging above the waters from those experiences. But, a lot of those things, and periodically throughout, all of our lives, we have those voices. To initiate battling that, I did a little candle magic and set things in motion. And let me tell you, when I say using cayenne pepper and those hot peppers that I used ignited things. So it came in a way that I didn't expect it, and it was very subtle. So what happened was, right after I did it, my husband comes home. And he's usually, he's after a long day of work. He usually comes home. His energy is kind of tapered down depending on his day. He came home with this enthusiasm and this inspiration for me. He wanted to, he asked about some of the things that I was doing and what I needed help with, marketing and different things like that. And he saw that my drive for it wasn't where it typically was. So he's, he is and was and still is the motivation that I needed, because he was, he jumped in there, he was throwing out ideas, and he actively assisted in doing different things. The magic worked right away, but right before it happened, the battle of the mind, the battle of the voices, having that conversation with the voices and not letting it like consume you, right? You see a lot of times in movies when there's a spirit or entity or a situation overwhelming you, it's like a dark mass of energy over you, like a dark cloud. A lot of times people don't know that's what it is, and they give into it because they're feeling that emotion of the voices, the emotion of whatever the voices are saying. So when a lot of times with me, what happens is, see, those voices don't know. A lot of times what happens, for me at least, is when I hear it and I snap out of it and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not me. And that makes me fight even more. A lot of times when we cast magic and things like that happen right before the the thing is going to manifest. You know, it's like that when they say all of this chaos happens right before the blessing is coming. It's kind of like that when you are doing candle magic, whatever magic you're doing, when you're casting spells, and you set that intention, and then just be aware of the voices, just be aware of situations that can come into conflict, those blocks. And what I used in the candle magic was some road openers. So that combination, I'm definitely putting that down in the grimoire because that combination packed a punch, like I mentioned, and it removed the blocks. So in order for blocks to be removed, they have to be uprooted, right? And while that is happening, you feel it. You feel the emotions of what that block is, and you don't want to settle in it. Just know that in order for the magic and to happen, in order for things to manifest, the things have to be uprooted. And it depends on whatever magic you're casting. But a lot of times, if we have fear and doubt and are vibrating in lower frequencies, these are the things that happen. So we have to pay attention when we cast that magic. Pay attention to the before the manifestation. Yes, set it and forget it, but be aware that those voices may appear, those emotions may appear, and it could be coming from a place of old shadows and traumas that connect with those voices. And yeah, so just be aware. And what happens is a lot of times when things don't manifest is because we may have given in to those voices. We have given in to the emotion. And once that happens, then we raise that we don't raise it, but we are walking in those lower vibrations, which in turn kind of cancels out the intention setting and that manifestation, or at least it really slows it down from manifesting your life. So pay attention to the voices when you want to manifest magic. Knowing the value of who you are. Next thing that this leads me to is knowing your worth, because when you know your worth, and it's not going to be 100% of all of the time, because you know we go through the cycles of life. You know, there's life and there's death, there's the in between. So this is, you're not always going to be like, I got this, I'm confident. You're not always going to be like that. Just knowing your worth helps you fight through that. When those voices come, knowing your worth helps you manifest that magic. Knowing that you aren't a number. Knowing, especially for creators, that when they feel like they've given it their best, they're creative, they come from a place of whatever it is that they love to create, but the numbers don't align for them. And I'm speaking to myself, because a lot of times when you are a creator in whatever platform that is on, you judge your worth by the numbers, when there's so much more in between. There's so much more. It's not always black and white. Sometimes it's the logistics of things and how you educating yourself on the different logistics of the behind the scenes, just a lot of things. But you aren't those numbers. You are worth more than identifying yourself with the amount of numbers that you are expecting to see with whatever it is that you do. When your expectations don't align with your present reality. The fallacy. Another thing along those lines is, it may seem a little different, but this is why a lot of people don't feel worthy, because we expect expectations, right? We have these expectations that came from a place of fallacy to begin with, but we have those expectations and reality isn't matching up. So 1+1, having your reality not align with what you expect it should be, that equals self-doubt, that equals you feeling unworthy. So when I say it comes from a place of fallacy, I'm going to give you an example. I was speaking to someone, I was counseling someone, and I knew their background. Many of us have the same background in Christianity, however that looks like for each of us, but a lot of us have come from Christianity. And Christianity will have you trying to live your life, all of your mundane parts of your life in that way. I know I'll speak for myself when, and I spoke when I was speaking to the young lady, I gave her the example of, because she wanted to get married. She was like, pushing and pushing, wanting to be married. And coming from someone that's been married for almost 30 years now, the paper is not important. As a matter of fact, a lot of times when people actually do take that step and get married and have that license, things go downhill for some reason, and then you have all of these divorces. This is a construct that as little kids we have developed, this white picket fence, this is how things are going to go, this linear path that we have created in our minds because Christianity has told us this is how it should go. The man is the head of the household. The wife is submissive to the man. He runs. He's the ruler. And you know what? When I was in Christianity, I was devout and I was doing my best, even in conflict with my inner self, doing my best, my husband and I, to align with those principles. But as you know, if you are in a house with two people that are born leaders, or, just outspoken, or if you are strong-willed, you're going to come into conflict with this. And a lot of times we did. So it wasn't until we came out of Christianity that it took a while, but the clouds began to clear. We were able to begin to see things differently. We are equal in our household and different things like that. So I began to tell her, really think about what you want, and because when you get to a certain age, you look back and you're like, this is that midlife crisis when you're like, I didn't accomplish all the things that I wanted to. What is wrong with me? I'm unworthy. Woe is me. Why me? But it's because it is unrealistic. It is false. It is based on a false perspective and understanding, and then we judge ourselves by this. So what I told her was, now with this understanding, begin to rewrite, change your perspective. This will remove any responsibility that you feel to achieving and becoming that thing that you thought you should be, or the thing you thought you should have. Change your perspective and understand that if you flow with those universal laws and have an understanding of other people's wills and how that aligns with you, your relationship to other people in your life, and understand that if you do have a partner, they may have gone through trauma as well, and they logically in their mind is saying, I want to connect with you, and I feel like I love you and I want to be here, but trauma dictates, especially when you aren't acknowledging it, trauma dictates the way that you're going to respond to certain things, especially when they're hidden in the shadows and you aren't working on them. So it may look like to you or the partner that this person doesn't want to be in a relationship and they're treating you like crap, it is because they don't even know what love is. They don't know how to be loved. They don't know the trauma is preventing them from understanding how to work through it with someone.
My personal experience.
Husband and I, we even had to learn that in our marriage. And we had to understand that our responses could be coming from a place that has taught us differently, a place that has given us a bad taste in our mouth. So until we begin to address those things, we had a lot of arguments. It was just one little thing that sparked it. And I'm sure if who's ever watching this, a lot of you can relate, because sometimes you get into an argument and by the end of the argument you don't even know why you were arguing, and it has been taken to this next level, which was happening a lot of times with us because of those traumas. Like, it really is like you see in the movies. You have this voice, this darkness hovering over you and telling you you aren't worthy. You know, you didn't accomplish that. So what's wrong with you? Or you don't even feel loved. A lot of people that grow up in Christianity kind of identify with, well, if I'm not receiving all of these things, God must not love me. Therefore, I'm not loved. I'm not worth anything. So changing your perspective and understanding history and reading and finding out the truth of all of these fallacies can help you open up your eyes and you can see clearer. So maybe those arguments will dial back a bit, and maybe you'll look at, if you're with a partner, and maybe you'll look at that partner a lot differently and say, okay, maybe that is coming from a place of trauma. It has nothing to do with me, but it's coming from a place of them not understanding how to be loved because they weren't loved, so they don't even know what it is. They just know that they feel good when they're around you, so they want to be with you. So there's all of that conflict there. And when you hear those voices in your head, because we all have the voices in our head, when we hear those voices, and the voices may not be audible, the voices can show up in a heavy emotion when you are around someone, around a situation, or right before you cast that magic to manifest all of these things. That emotion comes in, the voices comes in the form of these heavy emotions of doubt and unworthiness. So pay attention to your feelings. Be in a moment. Whenever you feel like you are, mine are voices. They are like almost audible. So they're like, what is wrong with you? You know, all of these things. And so I'm like having a battle with myself and a battle with whatever may be sent my way, or a battle with whatever hate or these negative energies that try to come my way and surround me. Some of them come from within and some of them come from without. So I 100% go to battle with those things when I have acknowledged them and it pisses me off, and then I have like this indignation, like, oh no, you gotta go. The voices, and understanding, acknowledging the voices, understanding, acknowledging some emotions, where they are coming from, and know that when you cast magic, know that when you want to set yourself on the path that is for you, know that those voices are going to come. So that is my talk for today. I just wanted to share that with you, and I just want to say thank you to all of you beautiful souls who are here with me on my channel. And if you are here and you are not subscribed, it would help me out greatly if you do so. If it's free, so it's not like you have to subscribe and pay anything. It's free. Unless you want to come on over to Patreon, where we have fun over there with some lives and different things like that. So until the next video, have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever it is that you're watching this. I love you all, and into the shadows.